years ago, many of us were here to say farewell to Dr. Ted Loring. Together, these two dynamic persons contributed enormously to the life and welfare of our community. Although Dr. Ted got many accolades for his activities within our community, as well as professional acknowledgement for his work throughout the state, Ruth was not only busy with the affairs of raising 4 boys at home, but was a powerhouse in the community. With her friend Eve Davis, an equally intelligent and energetic civic leader, these two engineered many an appearance before the Eureka City Council and left them trimmed, and founded the first preschool in Eureka, as well as the first chapter of the League of Women Voters. Ruth's civic work included a term on the Eureka City School Board, as well as the Housing Authority. It has been my observation that women who are married to physicians who are passionate about their profession need to find a creative outlet for themselves. Ruth was just such a woman. She displayed with grace and humility how to play second fiddle to medicine, be a supportive wife, a caring mother, and most importantly, all the while, be a happy and contented woman. My times with Ruth were mainly with the medical auxiliary and its functions in our community. She was its president in 1971 and 72. My best memories are of the stitchery group that was founded by our good friend, Dr. Ellen Binkley, whose husband, Dr. John, was a partner with Ted and Paul Roberts. During these sessions of how-to with the embroidery needle, Ruth might reminisce about her childhood and college days. Ruth was a private person and rarely shared any childhood experiences. As you know, her mother died during the flu epidemic of 1918 when Ruth was 2 years old. She was a remarkable mother who was devoted to her boys and yet had no real role model for her job. I am not knowledgeable about the hierarchy of the Boy Scouts, but I feel that a woman who raised 4 boys and was a den mother for 12 years deserves a posthumous Eagle Scout award. Ruth was known for being kind and welcoming to new doctors and their families. Sheila Borrell, a transplant from Ireland, the Stewart family, and the Binkleys all received heartfelt kindness and genuine friendship from Ruth. She was known in the community also. Peggy Lemos, who was our local Henderson Center florist, wanted you to know this personal story about Ruth. When Peggy first took over the florist shop, the former owners left a couple of their employees to help her with the transition. One day, one of these persons looked out into the shop and said, "Oh my gosh, here comes Ruth Loring, that woman you can never please." Quite to the contrary, Peggy said. Ruth always knew just what she wanted, and that all that was necessary was a smile, and of course we can do that. The difficult customer is the one who doesn't know what he or she wants. When Peggy married and was selling her shop, Ruth was the only customer who came in just to wish her happiness in her new life. Ruth had fun times for herself as well. Her former bowling league partners, Martha Clay and Denise Brocklock, tell how organized Ruth was as their leader and scorekeeper. Denise claims Ruth could add numbers faster than any person she ever knew. And I have heard Ruth tell herself that when she went through the grocery line, she always knew exactly what the bill was because as the checker displayed the numbers on the cash register and said them out loud, Ruth added them up and she was always right. Ruth, as I've mentioned, was so proud of each of her boys, and we heard about their numerous accomplishments. When the grands began arriving, and some of them were girls, she was absolutely over the moon. We got stories and pictures in full glory. One of Ruth's dearest friends was Jane Roberts, another doctor's wife. Ruth and Jane had lunch together every day. On one of these occasions, Ruth was pulling out her pictures and beginning a story of the wonders of her grandchildren when Jane interrupted and said, "Ruth, I have grandchildren too." see me when